Welcome back, everybody. Everybody ready for another Tuesday night chit chat? I know it's election night. It's November the 5th, 2024, big night across the country. But I don't really want to talk about politics tonight because everybody and their dog, every other channel in the universe is talking about politics tonight. So uh, I'm kind of going to go a different route, and then it's probably going to be a short stream tonight because number one, as you can tell, I have a cold, and it's a little bit hard to breathe, so it may be a little bit shorter stream, like about half. And I know you guys are wanting to get back to the election results, so uh, yeah. Which brings me to something a very dear friend of mine said, and I want to make sure I get this right. Um, Whoever wins the election, I'll accept. I am, however, not cool with riots. So stay civil, America. I love that. Thank you, Scott. Uh, Scott Rogers put that on Facebook, and I wholeheartedly agree with it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Tonight, what I want to talk about is everyone talks about the latest and greatest cameras, and this one does this and this one does this, and everybody seems to be wrapped up in the picture quality. Well, I got to tell you something, folks. I got a secret. So for about the last 8 or 10 years, cameras have been phenomenal. The picture quality in pretty much almost any name brand camera that was made in the last let's say 8 years, you're going to get phenomenal picture quality out of it, right? So much so that I shoot almost exclusively now on an action camera, right? My little Action 4. I love this thing. I don't like the fact it has one of those itty bitty memory cards, but that's the price you pay. But nobody talks about how important, there's two things: sound and lighting. And I could have the best background ever. I could have the latest camera giving you a 4K, 8K, I don't know what K, fantastic picture. And if you can't hear me, it just looks like I'm up here pantomiming, right? So nobody really ever talks about sound, and then lighting gets talked about even less. So I kind of stumbled across a light this week, and I realized that it's a very specialized, my use case scenario only type light. I get that. Um, but I do have other lights, right? I just wanted to emphasize, when you don't get all hung up on the latest and greatest camera, you might need to save a little bit of money for your sound and your lighting. So, let's see who's here, and then we'll dive into my latest find that I found this week, and I'm over the moon about it. Scott is here. He's first one in, saying, "Vote for Sly." Woohoo! No, please don't. No, don't write me in. No. Uh, so short stream sounds like me using the potty. Yeah, well, my grandson gave me a cold, and so it's been a little hard to breathe. We're going on day 4 now, so it's getting better. It's getting a lot better, but I'm still, whenever I try to have a conversation, and heaven forbid you make me laugh because I'll go into a coughing fit. So that's going to take probably a little while to clear up. Randy says, "Hope you feel better. Election results will be after midnight." I don't honestly think, and this is just my 2 cents, and I told you I'm not going to get into he or she or this or they or them or whatever, but I honestly don't think, it doesn't matter what happens tonight, the other side's going to contest, and it's not going to be over for a while. So I don't think tonight are the exciting results that everybody's hoping it will be. Scott says the picture quality, beginning with my Canon 30D, was amazing. I have glorious 20 by 24 studio display prints that I still love. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody, it gets so hung up on the camera and wanting to buy, you know, I got to have this latest and greatest and this latest and greatest, and I just I gave up on that a couple of years, well, probably a couple of years ago. I found a camera that I like. I love it as far as a full-blown CMOS sensor camera. I don't have a full sensor camera, but it fits my hand perfect. When I want to take pictures, I can. It has a viewfinder you can put on it if you want a viewfinder. It does phenomenal video, but it's still bigger than this little guy. And this little guy is the bomb diggity, because he, you know, you just hold him out. He's not that heavy, and he's phenomenal. Now, one of the things they did between the, well, okay, so I had the original Osmo Action. I still have 2 of those for the kayak. Phenomenal camera. Never have had any problems out of it. But having gear acquisition syndrome, when they came out with the 2, I didn't like the form factor. I will get the latest and greatest if I like what it is. If I don't, I'll pass. So when they came out with the 3, the initial, it had initial focusing issues, which killed it right out of the box, because if a camera comes out and it has any negativity to it about it, there are so many other options on the market. You're dead in the water as soon as you release it. So the 3 never really took off. So what I think happened, in my opinion only, I don't know this to be a fact, I think they changed the firmware, because this is the same case, and they put a 4 on here instead of a 3. Pretty sure this is an updated 3, and they call it a 4. But whatever, they fixed the focusing issue, and this came out with a few gimmicky things that I liked. One of them is the way you attach it. So instead of having to screw this thing on every time you want to take the camera on or off, it has a magnet. So you just pinch, and it comes off. And to put it back on, easy peasy. It'll still do everything the original Osmo did, only better, but it does overheat. The runtime's about the same. Picture quality, a little bit better, but now they've come out with a 5. Yeah, the 5's really got my interest. So, but I love that magnet feature. Now, Ulanzi came out with a cold shoe, because even with the cage, you still only have one cold shoe up here. So they came out with an adapter that goes wrong side up, battery door, just like a magnet, same thing. Pinch to release it, really does come off. It's a really strong magnet, and it just snaps right back on there. And it gives you 2 cold shoes. So now you've got your microphone and your light. Brilliant, brilliant. Well, the next thing they did was they came out with a light. Look how tiny this is. Now, I've been using actually a couple of different lights, but mostly at night I use these little Lytra cubes. I don't even think they make them anymore. But these things are pretty small, but it's a metal body, so it's kind of got some heft to it. I mean, it's not heavy, but it does add a little bit of weight, okay? And here, my goal here is getting as light as possible. So when Ulanzi came out with this, and this has been around for a minute, I didn't even know about it. It takes the place of, instead of having a shoe, now you just have, I guess I could do this facing you guys. Voila, you've got a light. And it's right there. So yeah, I'm enamored. And here's the best part about the whole thing. It's $15. I'm pretty sure it's rechargeable. It's rechargeable. USB-C, I believe. Yes, USB-C. And it's got a little weatherproof cover. So if you, because action cameras get out in the weather, so it would need to be somewhat weatherproof. I'm not saying it's waterproof, but it's weatherproof. And it's a phenomenal little light. Extremely bright. I'm not going to try to blind the camera. And now I can't even get it turned on. Probably because it's not charged up. It was on earlier. Well, I will charge it and we'll see. Anyway, phenomenal light, but it's only for the Action 3, 4, or 5. So, let's see. Okay, back to the comments. Randy says, video and stabilization plus no overheating is what I like most. I love the flash built in, and better sound quality is still a problem because I hear a lot of clicking noise when vlogging. A lot of clicking noise. I wonder if that is, depending on which camera you're using, it may be the lens autofocusing. Maybe. Also may depend on where you have the mic. So, I have I don't think it's over here. Yeah, it is. I have this archaic Ulanzi microphone, which has the absolute best sound quality ever. They don't even make this anymore. It runs on the 2 AA batteries, which I love because you can replace them. Or AAA, I'm sorry, AAA batteries. But it is a really good sounding mic. Now, the problem is you put it on an action camera. That's a big, it's kind of big looking. And I'm pretty sure if I remember the lens actually picks up the edge of the mic. So awesome if you're needing an on-camera microphone, this is an amazing one. Not really so good for the action cameras. Like I said, I've gone through so many stages and I've tried so many things. And so now my mic of choice is the DJI mic. And I just sold mine and I'm ordering the DJI 2 because it has Bluetooth. So you don't even have to have the receiver. You can just Bluetooth it to the Action 5 camera. See, they're making it my life easier and that's what I love. I love the easy button. Scott says, sorry you aren't feeling so well. Yeah, it's one of those things. I think this is like the 3rd time since September that I've had a cold. So it's probably because I'm constantly babysitting a 5-year-old that's going to preschool and getting all kinds of germs and bringing them home to me. He's fighting them better than I am. So, it's just a cold. Life goes on. Randy says, I have a question. If there is a tie on the electoral voting, does the vice president cast the winning vote? From what I understand, there has to be a majority of the electoral votes. So, yes, I do believe they do. Kind of poses an interesting question. I don't think there ever has been a tie. And the electoral votes are not actually, they don't actually vote until next month. So, what they do is they say this is who I'm going to endorse or whatever, but they don't actually sit and gather and cast their votes until December. So, Scott says, I do love eye autofocus. Next thing that I will invest in is a global shutter when the tech trickles down to prosumer models. I'm no longer excited in camera tech, now concentrating on content. Well, I keep looking for smaller and smaller, but that will deliver equal to results as the bigger guys. So the Action 4 gets pretty close. It's not. If you sorry, I forgot to turn the phone off. If you compare them apples to apples, like split the screen, the camera obviously has more depth of field, more contrast. It wins. Okay. For me to carry that for like any length of time, number one, it's very obvious. People don't walk around the street like this. And if you do, people want to know what you're doing. Like this, turn around. Yeah. People want to know what you're doing. And that's, it's interruptive. And so with a camera, it's even worse. Best case scenario is use the forward facing camera in your phone, and then it just looks like you're blind and you're holding your camera, your phone out so you can read it. But the forward facing cameras on phones are not the best. So the action camera is a step above a phone. But yeah, if I could get it in like just, I don't know, something even smaller than an action camera, maybe a spy camera. That's what I need, a spy camera. There we go. And there is Roy. Good day, Sly. Good day, Roy. How are you from down under? Rainey says the Rode Wireless Go works best for me until the frequency is hijacked by a top 100 countdown radio station. So in researching microphones, and I've watched tons and tons and tons and tons of videos, and I have a lot of low-end wireless microphones. I have the Hollyland Lark. I have the Deity Wireless Go. I think it's the Wireless Go. There's another one. I have the Go Docs. I was thinking there was another one. But anyway, I have a lot of those. And they're okay. They're perfectly adequate if you don't compare it, again, right next to something. So if you've got like an audio track from, let's say, a Rode and an audio track from a Hollyland, you're going to be able to hear the difference. But if the whole video is shot with one microphone, it's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. So the things that I like about and I looked at the Rode Wireless Pro and the DJI Mic 2, and the things I like about the Mic 2 is, number one, you can get a white transmitter. With this white hair, black just stands out like a sore thumb. White just kind of fits the whole. And the original mic has, the charging case and all that stuff, which the Hollyland has a charging case. So, I mean, it's fine. I've taken it. I've used it before on some of my videos. And the Godox was fine until I blew it up. It happens. But the 5 the Mic 2 having the Bluetooth is the sound quality between it and the Rode Pro about the same. So, but I just like the way DJI is configured a little better. I'm not crazy about the shiny case. I wish they had stuck with the original, and had the matte finish. But it is what it is. But, so that's my next, is the 5 and the Mic 2. Because they marry up together really well. So, that's where I'm heading. Roy says, I hate built-in rechargeable. Too many devices to charge, and the battery runs down at the worst times. Absolutely. That is, in fact, Tom Buck made a video about just that thing. That, all these microphones, and they all have an internal battery that you can't replace. And when the battery's gone, they're dead. Like, throw them away. You can't. I guess you could send them back to the factory and have them put a new battery in it, but and the price point is so low that really, why would you do that? So on some of these, like the the Hollyland that I have, I think it's down to like $99 or 119 or something like that. And when Amazon runs their Prime days, it gets down as low as like $79. So there is a slew of mics out there. Comica, that Fulane makes a good sounding mic that are not expensive. And it's kind of fun, honestly, to kind of try out the different mics and try out new things. And I do like that. So I'm not really stuck on, okay, I'm buying this and I want this to be the last mic I ever buy. I promise you it will not be. Scott. Sorry, guys. Scott says, agree, Roy. No proprietary or permanent batteries for me. Yeah, that's one of the things I like about my Tascam is it uses AA's, I think, and you can pick those up anywhere. So if your battery runs dead and you have used all the spares, you can stop anywhere and get some AA batteries and you're back in business. But the batteries last 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that. They last a good bit. So plus the Tascam has the internal recording. Well, that's what it is. I mean, yeah, you can't hook it up to a camera. But for those of us who are lazy, that's just one more thing that you have to do in post is sync up the video with the audio. Now, is it a big deal? No. And I've done it on several occasions, and I really like the Tascam. I used to really try to hide the lapel mics, but and hoodies are great because you can put them, inside the hoodie and nobody can see them, and they're great. But in the summertime, a little harder to hide those lapel mics, right? They kind of stick out like a sore thumb. So at that point, I was just like, who cares? I'm making a video. You need to hear it. Here's the mic. Who cares? So, but yes, I agree that the batteries are, I don't know who started that and why it continued, but that needs to be something that the consumer can replace. I'm just saying. Randy says, Apple finally has gone to USB-C all the way. Thank goodness. But still have to put the mouse upside down to charge. Really? I don't have an Apple mouse, so I don't know. That's okay. My wireless mouse takes battery. Again, I can change battery. It's not a big deal. I get these really small ones because my hands are small, and they're good for traveling, and they fit my hands. And I think I did. Yeah, I haven't found a smaller one. Like this is a small, and this is an extra small. This is for little man because he and I just woke that computer up. Sorry, he uses that computer. So, yeah, I found an extra small mouse for his little hand, and it's so cute to watch him. He doesn't even look at it. He just completely looks at the screen and does whatever he wants the mouse to do. It's amazing. There is Jeff. Welcome back, sir. I'm back, but not able to stop. We're up in the Northeast today. Okay. Jeff has been on vacation. Sounds like he still is. So, Jeff, stay safe. And I can't wait to hear about your vacation. So when you do get back and you have some time, let us know how it went. And he did say, I believe, that Melbourne is a beautiful area. I think that's where Roy lives. And he was saying Roy had found Nirvana, that it was a really nice place. So I want to hear all about your trip. I would love to just, like, come over and spend like a month just going, like, somebody would come over to the United States and spend a month just traveling the United States. And it would probably take about a month to see pretty much everything without feeling like you were rushed. But Australia is big enough. That's one on my bucket list. And then Europe is on my bucket list too. So maybe one of these days I'll get to take like the trains in Europe. That just I don't know. Anyway, stay safe, Jeff. Scott says the one thing I would buy is something that uses that somewhat universal big Sony battery that many brands have designed their product to accept. I think was originally intended for the Sony video cams. Okay, so I've been in the Canon ecosystem for so long that the only Sony I have takes an itty bitty teeny tiny battery. And honestly, it lasts about the same length of time as the Action camera, which is one of the benefits of the Action 5 is they have put in a bigger battery because not everybody wants to change the battery every hour. Now, my Canon has a medium-sized battery, and it lasts about a little over an hour, about an hour. I just, as a rule of thumb, I count on an hour and take enough batteries accordingly. Take more than a month to see all the museums and sites in Washington. Yes, it probably would. I'm more of an outdoorsy person, so I like seeing the oceans and the mountains and the plains in Wyoming and Montana, and I just love driving through that area. It's they have, I think it's called, it was when I was up there like 40 years ago, free range, and so they do have fencing like along the roads and stuff, but you'll just see wildlife just jump and off they go, and yeah, it's 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 really unique. Oklahoma doesn't have anything like that. So the Orient Express, absolutely. I mean, that would be a hoot, right? Because I'm kind of a mystery buff too, so I would love to take a ride on the Orient Express. Roy says Sony FP battery. V batteries are bigger. So I have seen. I think it was Marcus Pix did a thing with a V battery, and that thing was absolutely large. Way, way too big. Some of the stuff he has, and he'll tell you, he puts everything on stands. He doesn't handhold anything. And like even when he's making his vlogs, the camera is on a tripod. So he doesn't even hold his camera when he's making his vlogs, right? I'm kind of more, I don't stay still long enough to do that. So I kind of, it has to go with me because off we go. And so, I do want to ask you guys a question. I know none of you live in Las Vegas. However, if you guys know of any place that has like that rents spaces in major cities, I am looking for a place that I can use their Wi-Fi. So I have found a couple of offices, and this is going to be typical Sly. So when I went on and was looking, I was thinking 9 o'clock. Well, it's 9 o'clock here. It's 7 o'clock there. And so I've got to go back in and redo the search and put 7 o'clock because no one seemed to want to rent one from 9 to 10. So maybe 7 to 8 will be a little more palatable to them. But yeah. So I'm really, really, really going to try to make a live stream happen from Las Vegas twice. But as of right now, I have no place to stream from. So there is that. But guys, I hate to cut this short on you, but I am running out of voice. And it's getting very hard not to cough in your ear. So enjoy your election coverage. I honestly, you may see who the winner is, but I think in the morning they're going to contest it anyway. So it just seems to be how American politics go now. I don't actually think we'll know until we know. So, but I love you guys. Thank you for coming in. And sorry I've got the stuff again, but next week will be better. I promise. Until then, stay safe, everybody. I love you guys. Good night.